SkykickMediaServices.com.
Friends, I'm your pal in the mainstream media,
and I'm your Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you supporting us at patreon.com/AwesomeCast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the, why is it playing in my ear? It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast episode 735, live from Hilton Garden Inn in Ann Arbor, Michigan. We are in Riverside. I don't know. I feel like we need to creep into this because we have a vertical thing, and I think that's how it's going out. I think I can change this. We'll see if we can fuss with this throughout the show. But no, we're up on Riverside. We are rolling here, and I got Scotty Swemba is with me. He is a video producer in Pittsburgh as well, doing very, very cool stuff on some cameras that I don't use. And we're up here on Auto Drive Challenge for SAE once again. And we also have with us first from the iPhoneography podcast, Dave Podner.
Glad to be on. And it's AwesomeCast, so we got to try some stuff that may or may not work.
Yep, that's basically that's. Hey, it's just like the competition we're at this week. You know, the stuff may or may not work. Will the cars go by themselves? Who knows? You know. Also with us, Dutters extraordinaire and parade participant, Katie Dudas is with us.
99% of our lives is, I don't know if it's gonna work, but we'll try anyways.
Yeah, that's basically. I think it's a good philosophy, right? So
I just launched Baby Yoda down.
and Scotty's here. Hi, Scotty. Give a voice for the new voice for the audio listeners if you're on that later. So you won't even know there's much of a difference, other than maybe we have some different microphones here. So we're using our headsets that we usually give the wrestler commentators. Yeah, so we're having fun with that. So let's get into our awesome thing of the week. I do not have sounders because we're on Riverside, and I don't have any of those loaded up. So, and I don't even know how I could on here, honestly. So let's go around the horn, and then Scotty and I will talk about what's going on up here. Let's start with, if I get my document up here. It's hard on one computer to do this. Katie, what's your awesome thing of the week?
Hi, we are back into the temperatures above 50 degrees in Western Pennsylvania. We are hitting hot spell. And my awesome thing of the week is this Omni Breeze tower fan that I've put into my office. I live in an old Pittsburgh home. So the bottom, it's also on Amazon. So if you're looking at it, it's a Costco link here. It is definitely cheaper at Costco, but Amazon also has this. But I live in an old Pittsburgh home. The bottom floor is completely air conditioned. And then the second floor, none of the air gets to up here. So it gets to be a little toasty throughout the summer months. And I just got this fan and I love it. I'm so impressed with how well it works. It's pretty quiet. It'll tell me how warm it is in the room, which is nice because then I can be like, wow, I'm not overreacting when I'm just hot and it's 78 degrees or whatever it is in this room. But it is remote controlled. It also has it's an app, it's Wi-Fi enabled, and it's like does the oscillating. It's got fan speed. I don't even have to keep it on a very high fan speed, and it's very nice, and it keeps the room very comfortable when the air is moving. And it's on sale at Costco if you have a Costco membership. I know Scotty does.
Scotty's a big fan.
I love Costco.
Yes.
So
So you get a Costco, you're saved $10 right now. But normally it's like $50, and I think it's like 54 on Amazon. But if you've got that Costco membership, you're going to spend $38.99 and
there you
picked it
go.
up at the Robinson Costco. So if you're looking for one that has it in stock, there you go.
Hmm.
It's time. It's definitely time. Yeah, I'm kind of
The,
getting tired of my window units.
Yeah, the air circulation coverage is up to 200 square feet. I didn't realize it was
Oh
that. Like,
wow.
this is blowing air everywhere, but it's like, it
Mhm.
doesn't feel like it is, and it doesn't sound, it's like right behind me, and you can
Oh,
barely
wow.
tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it is
Now,
actually.
does it?
Sorry.
It's gone.
I was going to ask. So at first I thought it was just a fan. I'm like, okay, it's just like any a fan that would oscillate and turn, and blow on you while you're laying in bed. Um,
Yeah.
but it's like something that's a little bit more. 200 square feet. It like actually like cools the whole room, similar to like an air conditioning system or something like that. That's pretty rad.
Yeah. It feels pretty good. Like, I've been in here only, I don't know if you can see. Oh, he's hiding behind my corner. You can't tell, but he's behind me. Um, Usually there's a cat behind me, but it's the fan right now. Yeah, it's already gone down a few degrees in here since I started running it, and yeah, it's pretty comfortable. And like I said, the air, it's a nice circulation where it's also like the air doesn't feel so like,
Mhm.
when you're in a room without air conditioning and you're just like, I feel disgusting. So yes, big fan, like it. And like I said, it has a remote and has Wi-Fi on the Wi-Fi's, and then you can control it with an app on your phone.
Awesome. Go check that out. That's the Omni Breeze Tower fan over at Costco in opencostco.com. Dave Ponder, what's your awesome thing of the week?
Well, we have more AI news because everyone has AI news.
Sure.
But this is Bing, which is, in my mind, this is a little weird because it's not in Copilot, it's not in the Edge app, it's in the Bing app. So you can create the videos, the Sora video creator, and you get basically 10 credits to do quick edits. So I did one that was a quick edit, and it created it in about a minute or so. Now, after you use those 10, you do standard speed. And it says this could take an hour or two at standard speed. So, you're dealing with that. But just the fact that it's kind of weird. To me, Bing is your search app. And now they're playing it's vertical video only. They say it's horizontal will be coming, but it's vertical only. And you just basically type in what you're looking for, and it produces the video. And it's just kind of wild how they're just starting to release things. I know it's only, you can see like 5-second video.
Yeah.
But you can get a feeling of what they used to make you pay money for now is coming to, we're going to give you this for free. And it's starting, I don't know what the upscale is or what the upcharge will be, but again, it was just, when I just saw it was in the Bing app. And, an otter tossing a pizza dough. Showing one of the videos they created. Yeah, but it's in the Bing app, and if you go, it's available now, iOS and Android. If you go down to the bottom right, you do Bing, bottom left, Bing Video Creator, and you can it just easily creates a quick little video.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've had this with the image creator before too, right? Like, and it would only do so much. And I feel like there was weren't there like tokens or something you could purchase with them on the image creator as well. So they might be scaling up something like that, like they do with Sora over on ChatGPT.
That's what I'm thinking. Or if you right now, I would say right now it's because it's just rolling out. I don't know if you go for the higher level of like an Office 365, then you get it.
Yeah.
But they haven't said anything yet. I don't think they put out how you can get more than 10
So
credits.
it's early, but the idea that they're doing vertical video tells me that they are, they want this to go viral, and everybody knows it comes from the big video creators, so that whatever is next is the thing that you go for, right? That actually makes them money. I mean, and this is all just, this is also just, getting that excitement up, so you everybody gets used to this kind of stuff, and starts seeing it as a tool, and then going from there, because there's a lot of competition for something like this right now, right? Like, I don't know how many video creators, how many AI video creators are out there right now of some sort. Google has one. These guys have one.
VO3 is pretty much set this, because I mean, Google can finally get a return on its investment in YouTube, which is something it's just been losing money on for 20 years. And now that they have all of that training data from everything that everybody has, every Sorgatron media project ever uploaded to YouTube has trained VO3, and they have kind of everything I've seen from that thing's been pretty wild as far as what it's capable of doing.
Right.
Doesn't surprise me that Mike, anybody that has the capacity to, if at first everybody had their own large language model, and then everybody started doing their own generative images, and now video is kind of the new thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything I've seen with VO has been really impressive. I'm like biased against the vertical video aspect because like I feel like I am always telling Instagram, don't show me this, and Facebook, like I'm a big Instagram guy, and like a lot of my home is AI recommendations, and Facebook now has a lot of just stuff for your grandma to click on that's just like, look at this shark the size of the Empire State Building that these guys caught. And it's kind of I don't know, it's an aspect of, I feel like it's going to kill the internet. For better or for worse. I feel like it was going to kill social media. Like eventually AI is just going to trade, like the dead internet theory, like AI eventually just everything you see and read on the internet is just AI training on AI, and then people are just finally like slowly like, we're not even engaging with this anymore.
It's gonna end up just engaging with itself,
Yeah.
Like, we talk about that, and like how like the ingestion, like if only AI things are being kind of put out, it comes back around and doesn't like the AI just starts taking in AI generated things.
Yeah, it's like bots responding to bots responding to bots. And I see, like, my Instagram homepage for the longest time, it took me forever to like stop getting stupid AI videos on it.
Yeah.
Because I like a lot of tech stuff, and they're just like, oh, he likes tech, he likes AI. And it was like, I'm a visual effects, I love visual effects, and film and motion graphics and motion design, and it just falls into the same stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to see these prompt videos. Like, I don't like care. Like, I don't like it's I feel like a lot of people are getting it, and a lot of people, some of the views I've seen on some of the stuff that it generates on platforms like Instagram and Facebook are kind of like wild too. So a lot of people are like, and that's just going to lead to more like influencer behavior, where more people are like, I'm going to start an AI Instagram account. They already do it. There's like farms that AI women on Instagram that have pages and pages of photos and videos that don't actually exist in real life, and they just message people to catfish them.
Right.
It's AI is problematic in some respects, in my opinion, with the way that we got to get a handle on it. And that's not even going after like the rights management, like how it trains and the usage management aspect of it. I like the tools. I like whenever I fuck up audio. Can I swear?
PG-13.
Screw up audio on a shoot, and I can like have Adobe Podcast fix it. Or
yes, that's nice. But that's not like a generated from something. That's like it's looking at something and determining, right?
I think it's a model. Like it trains off of what it thinks it should sound like.
Exactly.
And it uses the info you put in there to kind of like, and it uses audio it's trained on to like fill it. Kind of like the Adobe Generative Extend. Like if you got a stock footage of like, you're doing a commercial for medicine, and you need that lady walking through a wheat field, and you only got 5 seconds, and you need 6. Like, so it'll like give you that extra second. Like it'll just take that information and think of what.
It creates something based on the information you give it versus like the giant learning model.
I think it pulls from their training.
Yeah, it pulls from the training, but also looks specifically at the thing you give it. Like
sure, yeah.
We talk a lot about like I was talking about like we take scripts and transcripts and stick it in and say, hey, tell me when somebody talked about this and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's like no different than Midjourney or ChatGPT. Yeah. You give them a picture of me and you tell them to make me into an Eskimo or something. And, it still pulls from its model, its training data.
So
now I did look up, and once you use up the 10 free quick ones, if you search with Microsoft Rewards or Microsoft Bing, you get rewards for like searching things, and you can use.
And I can get my Xbox gift card.
You can use those reward points to make the quick video. Now, I'm not overly familiar with the reward port, so I don't know if you can just buy rewards points or, how that works that way. But yeah, that's what basically, I'm out of my 10 and I want to do this. Of course, it's a way for people to use Bing. So you're like, I love making this video. I need to search a whole bunch of stuff with Bing and do these little things.
It gives you a reason to go over there and be like, it gives you a reason to go over there and be like, hey, Bing's a thing. I should maybe this is a search engine.
Bing's actually a really good search. I feel like Google's been they got so many paid advertisements now, for it to companies pay money to get to the top.
Yeah.
SEO isn't as it used to be organically, where Bing's still a little bit of that old school. Here's some results based on our crawlers.
Yeah, Bing can't. Bing was my problem. Was like when I'm looking for a thing and don't have an exact kind of hey, with a thing that's kind of like this, it doesn't reason in the search enough for me to find things like, hey, what's the song with the lyric that says something about this? That wouldn't come up. But Google's a lot better with that. So I went back to Google for those.
Well, now it's got the AI anytime you Google.
Right, which is kind of annoying, honestly. But
it makes a bunch of stuff up.
Yeah, there's that.
I was like, what camera has this many stops of dynamic range, and it just make believes.
Yep.
Yeah. So. But they also said in the Bing thing they're going to bring Copilot into Bing now, so they're going to have their own AI thing. So hopefully it'll improve the open-ended, what song has this, or what is this, and it's not an exact result. Hopefully it gets better without saying, let me create this document that you're going to give to a court, and I'll make up cases that you can cite that make your thing look good, and then which has happened multiple times.
It has, and it's
it's all. I don't I used ChatGPT to book a Disney vacation. I thought it did a pretty good job of that, and it's really good when you want to ask it some camera questions because it does search the web.
Yeah.
But one time I needed internet in Gainesville, Florida, and I searched does Steak and Shake have internet because it was down the road from the hotel, and the Google AI just hallucinated that Steak and Shake had internet, and I believed it. And I took my laptop to Steak and Shake, ordered food, sat down. No Wi-Fi. They didn't have it.
Due diligence.
Well, it's just there's been a couple instances where I've tried to use it as a tool professionally, where I've had to try to upload PDFs and have it proof documents, design documents and stuff, and it just makes stuff up. If it can't find something wrong, it doesn't actually find errors, and then you tell it you just missed all these things, and it's like, I'm sorry, I'll do better next time, and it still does it.
I know Katie's been doing, I think we talked about a little bit on here, but I know, Katie, you've been doing some experiments with the personality of ChatGPT.
Yeah. Yes. I know, and I quiz it and go, would you be different if I didn't say this way? But yeah, my ChatGPT is very customized to how I speak and the things I look for.
I mean, there's some Black Mirror stuff I've read with with ChatGPT where people are they've made it act like their dead wife, and they still talk to her every night, and it's I don't know, you do you, if it helps you, that's actually probably a legitimate use case if it helps people grieve and mourn, maybe
there's going to be a lot of study on whether that is actually healthy for mental states and things like that.
I talk to my dog, but
Anyways, like I said, we're out here. We're in Ann Arbor. We're here for Auto Drive Challenge, back again for this. And Scotty, we brought you out because you bring a little bit different flavor to what we're doing with video here out here for like style and everything, including one of these things, for instance. Before we get that, like you've done Baja with us now. You've done 2 Formula SAEs with us now. We're 2 days of 5 out here for Auto Drive Challenge with General Motors and SAE. What's kind of your vibe on this event so far from your angle?
I think it's great. It's really eye-opening, especially with Auto Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we're talking perspective of like just like the event itself, and we're not talking about the production element. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of cool seeing how things, how we as like as a society, as a country, as a community of thinkers, especially today, seeing the kids go out there. You're at the Michigan University, and they have all these different departments based on aeronautics.
Yeah.
And
we drove through Katie. We drove through the campus because we were looking for the Amazon locker.
Yeah.
So you got to see all the stuff, including where Baja and Formula live. Their teams out here. So,
but seeing 10 universities from around the country come out, whole groups of students, they have these electric cars, and they all have completely different proprietary built mechanisms on top of the cars, cameras, lidar, radar, systems in the trunk, computing power, GP. I overheard students talking about what GPU stacks they used, and they're all after the goal of competing in this autonomous driving challenge, which I've heard is for General Motors. It's kind of a recruiting tool for what they do in the future for autonomous driving.
Yeah.
Obviously, autonomous driving is the future. Like that's that's
it's
a
the
thing.
goal at least.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Like there's like the Tesla promises that never happen. But like I think like if we talk, in a decade, there's probably, there's already Waymo and stuff. Like eventually, I think we're going to get to that point where we're all chilling in a car that drives itself. And it's very eye opening to see that at Auto Drive. That's the most recent one that's on my mind. But even with Formula and Baja, just seeing like all these engineer heads, come out and build cars from the ground up to do different things. You start to see how we're able as a species keep progressing. Technologically, there's a constant churn of innovation in every single class of people that comes through these colleges is basing everything on what the previous class did in the previous competitions, and that blew my mind a little bit about all the SAE stuff.
You have probably talked to somebody who currently is or is going to be a rocket scientist.
Yeah.
It's like
they're all smarty pantses. They're all no, it's cool. And then the live stream's cool. Like seeing I don't come from like a show production. I don't know what you'd call it, like an event, like a broadcast production kind of thing, but seeing like Sidekick kind of problem solve all these like, okay, we need to put on a live stream. It's got commentary. I've seen it in pro wrestling a lot, but something where it's like, oh, okay, we need to put on a live broadcast, film racing across like, 3 acres of property, and make a live stream. That's been kind of cool to see, and it's cool too because it's like, it's in its infancy too, and you see it get a little better every time. So you're like, oh, like, as this thing progresses, like it's kind of a launching pad to like bring in, like even on this trip, we're like, dude, like drone would rule at, and at the last one we were like, we got feeds for you got feeds from inside the cars from the
from
team
our
from
friends
Brazil, and that was like a new thing. And it's like, we're going to get a step and repeat background, and it's like, you're going to see this like production for SAE grow and grow now. They're including more shows. And it's kind of cool to think about like how big the production. Now we're talking about getting like a box truck or a trailer,
somebody showed us their production trailer that they're trying to put together. Katie, we'll tell you about this off air in depth, but we're just like, oh, that's got some some friends of ours from these competitions that are very good at building things, let's just say. And it was very inspiring to see what they did with this old transport vehicle. And they're like, yeah, we almost brought it, but it's don't want to get a flat tire our first voyage out on the way to like one of the most important competitions they probably do. So
it seems like the most like, I mean, I don't know if everybody that watches your podcast knows everything that's involved with like live streaming events, but like one of the biggest, most arduous tasks of live streaming an event is you'll load, $10,000 worth of crap in a car, and it's a lot of stuff. Like if you were to inventory and break it out, it's like 150 individual items of things.
Yeah.
And you take it to a building or a place, and you have to set it all up, and then check it, make sure it all works, turn it on, and then you do a company. Whereas like someone like that has a broadcast truck, like a sport, like live sports, WWE, the NFL, whatever. They have the whole tractor trailers with the satellite dishes. That they don't have to do any of that, and that's kind of like a cool goal to think about. You could just drive up to a building, run some wires in, take the cameras in, and you can cut that entire step out. Is like kind of exciting to think about that being formed.
That's again, that's the goal. Whether we get to it anytime soon, this year, next year, or beyond, is something that we
I can see it with SAE, because the live streaming with SAE is like pretty new. Like that's a new thing. Like it is very still ground.
I'm hoping it scales up. We've had some really good conversations after the experiences we had in May with Baja and Formula Stream. We're doing another one at EV here in a couple weeks. And it's gonna, I think it's gonna be better, and we're gonna go from there. So, I think it's gonna be real cool. So, anyway, actually, let's before we talk a little bit more about this stuff and some of the gadgets and stuff we're doing here this weekend, I want to give a shout out to our friends that are supporting the show over at patreon.com/awesomecast, including Brian Crawford of the Pittsburgh New Exhibition. I think I got that right. I need to really. Oh, wait, here it is. Nope, that's not the link. Clint, Cynthia Klosky, John Nagore, and Dave Potter over there. Thank you guys for supporting the show and keeping us going on patreon.com/awesomecast. No Patreon content because we're obviously on the road and probably, mostly barely kind of making this work right now. We're using riverside.fm, which, we used a few months ago is what we were teaching the kids to use for remote podcasts in the Point Park University class that I was teaching for intro to podcasting in the last semester. So we figured we're doing this. So we're probably going to be doing a remote here in 2 weeks when Katie and I come out here again for Formula, because since we're going to have to travel on a Tuesday. So, hey, why not? Let's do the show, right? So we can keep going. But, it's kind of hard to get new content. But thank you, everybody that is supporting us. We'll be back in studio next Tuesday for a normal setup, ideally. And get into that. So like I said, this is kind of you're here because we're doing like different than what I usually do. I'm usually using kind of what we keep calling handy cams. I think mostly these full body cameras.
Oh, camcorders,
kind of things. These Panasonics that we use, X2000s, DVX 200s, I think it is. But we got here's one that we got from Lens Rentals because we need to get a second model based on because you have one of these two that's in the case over there.
Yeah, you wanted the same one, so we have the same menus and stuff, so we can look at it.
What is this, and why is it so important? Because it looks like Katie's camera that she brings out for photography.
Well, it's a DSLR. It's just like they used to be it's really just at this point it's the body style of a photography camera. Photography cameras used to exclusively look like that, and then people started putting the capability of doing video onto the photography bodies, and photography cameras had really nice full frame sensors, interchangeable lenses, which is something you always saw on super expensive cameras. And once that happened, everybody was able to have the ability to have a cinema line of cameras, like the 5D Mark IIs back in the day. I didn't mean to shake the desk.
It's all right. We live, baby.
But yeah, so we got that one because I personally have an A7S III. That's the new one I got from the Sony lineup, mainly because I wanted to take pictures of my kids too, and it has a viewfinder. The FX3, which is one of the most popular cameras in the world now. I mean, I see like some of the more indie film festivals and stuff. The FX3 is a highly used camera. a music festival I do work on. The entire video team is pretty much on the A7S3 or the FX3 line. It's wedding videography is being dominated by FX3s. So this has the same sensor as the FX3 and the FX6, the Sony FX6, the larger one. The FX6 is also another super popular camera. But also I've been in Sony since the A7S2, and I have an FS7, so I have all E-mount stuff anyway. So you know how it is whenever you start doing interchangeable lens systems, whatever you have the most of, you kind of lean in that direction. Even though I have mounts to change it to for whatever lenses, but yeah.
And so so I'm also learning as we go here as a second shooter here on this project. And you got some of your lenses in here and kind of showing me the ropes on this kind of thing. So I'm hoping I get a little more into this kind of world. A little hard to get into the live aspect of it sometimes with this, but I think it's a really cool thing to kind of have in your pocket for something like this. And actually, just for a little bit of get that out of there, an idea of what this looks like and what he brings to the table here. This is actually a video you did as a kind of a showpiece last year. It's a very verticalized here for social media, but again, you had a different style to it. You had the slow-mos and things like that, and we're looking to bring something similar like this to this project as well. Actually, this was a thing that got us into here for doing this project, and we got to work with our friends at Cut and Run Productions that are literally down the road from the studio, by the way, back home. So they came up and did some drone work with us so we can spruce that thing up a little bit more. And I loved we were doing a very cool GTA original Grand Theft Auto style top down.
Now we got artsy fartsy with it.
Yeah, we really got artsy fartsy with it to do something a little bit different. So I thought that was kind of fun. So that was pretty cool. I can't wait to see what we kind of pull together with that kind of thing. It's going to look a lot different than the stuff we've been doing with Baja and Formula and previously out here with Auto Drive. It's for sure.
Yeah, these cameras are great because obviously Sony calls their FX3s and FX6s as their cinema line, and a lot of that has to do with the fact it has an interchangeable lens system, so you can get specific lenses for the shots you're trying to get. You can get very, very intentional about what you want your compositions and your look to be like. That also, and I mean, most of the battle in that for me is shooting in log Keller space. So you have full access to the entire dynamic range, and then you're able to also Keller grade your footage to have a lot of intentionality to it to make it feel a certain way, and it all that together with with the video we're doing, like we're being very cinematic with it as far as how we're going to establish it and have the cars come on, and it all leads to just a really cinematic feel to what you do. And then the slow motion, everybody likes that.
And a lot of just for the layman's out there that, as we talk about the technical things, like a lot of things that you talked about really just give yourself a lot of range and choice and of being able to tune things, right?
Yeah. What do you want it to look like? Yeah. What do you want it to feel like?
And that's something you're very, very good at.
Yeah. I love approaching things with that, like, intentionality. And obviously, like, the cameras, the ability to, the full frame with the, with the shallow depth of field and everything that it tends to have a film look.
Yeah.
And the way that sensor tends to treat the information. And once again, the glass is one of the most important things. So we'll do, instead of like shooting on auto or whatever, like we'll be like, okay, full frame. I'm a big fan of F4. Which is, I think it's like if you were to convert full frame to like a Super 35, that's like 2.8 on a Super 35 on a full frame. And we set the shutter speed to be perfect. We're shooting at a higher frame rate because we want the ability to do slow mode. It is a highlight video, and then we just use ND filters to maintain a consistent,
which is fun
visual.
Because the sun coming and going.
Yeah. We have to because it's an outdoor event coverage. Like, you don't have to do this like with an indoor event. Like if we were doing a concert or something, we would be able to set it and forget it.
Yeah.
But with this one, we had like it's a unique challenge that's tough to do is to kind of get that film aesthetic, maintain the settings of the camera, have full control of manual control of everything you're doing, maintain your depth of field. So you have that. That's a big part too. Is a lot of cameras you'll go out, you'll have it on auto or whatever, and it's just going to crank your aperture, so nothing's blurry. You don't have like that's another thing that makes the cinematic is when the car drives by, the car is in focus and everything behind it is out of focus. Everything in front of it is out of focus. But a lot, you just go out there on auto with a camcorder, usually everything's in focus. It's forever focus. So you lose a little of that that cinematic quality that you're looking for.
Yeah, and of course we use that for those other methods because we have a lot of people that we need to make sure all are on the same page with the cameras and everything, right?
Oh yeah,
So
you have to with stuff like that. Like it doesn't matter what you're doing. I doubt the guy that's running the. Well, if you're talking like big sports, like they're gonna have tech people just to take care of shit like that. But you can't do that's not. It's a live event production is completely different than a film set, and we are treating a highlight video like a film set.
Right.
You know,
basically we are. Yeah,
it's like
around a functioning event that's going down out here, right?
Yeah, there's like nothing we're doing is being broadcast live so everybody can see. Like it's all going to be hidden behind great post production.
And the nice thing is this video doesn't need to be done by the end of the week is what we've done here in the past.
Yeah.
So for the live stream or anything. So I'm appreciating this is probably the least pressure. Like
none of these cameras have SDI on.
No,
you got HDMI. They don't.
Well, no, I know. But
you could do like.
I'm talking about the edit that we did previously.
Oh no, I was just saying about how you said
I was literally building the edit for the end of the week for the live stream and the award ceremony. We're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So like while it's like a little pressure of we're doing some bigger higher end stuff, managing the drone and managing figuring all that kind of stuff out. We're not sitting here furiously editing away for it like I used to do day to day. So
now I've been on those though where like you have like a highlight video, but you also have to do like dailies.
Yeah.
So like you're like one time I shot Google in Pittsburgh and they wanted me to bring my computer and they wanted me to do a newsreel there when I was done. Like I had an hour to take like I shot for like 3 hours and then I had an hour to like I don't think this is NDA, but I won't talk about who was there. But
okay.
I had an hour to basically take this highlight video. I had like a Ronin gimbal and like I went around and shot this event. And then they had the person from Google wanted me there in the building. I couldn't take the footage home to edit the footage and I had to do it. And they like had to check it because they had to send it to their PR to send to the news like immediately. Like they needed a newsreel. And in a situation like that, dude, I'm like, you know what? We're not doing log. We're a Rec 709 in the camera. I won't shoot auto but I might auto white balance if I'm not sure. Like I'm gonna speed some things up. Because I got to turn and edit around like super quick. So I need to go in and mark selects and bust it out.
Yeah. But no, it's been a fun time, and it's been cool to kind of like learn some different ways and collaborate on this because I know like this happened when Katie started coming out with me on these events is like I've done them for so long and having another set of eyes to be like, oh, why don't we look at it this way? Has been really kind of invaluable for these projects because I just feel like you get stuck in a rut for a while. You're like, oh, this event we do this and this, and the video's the video.
Yeah,
right.
It's like I don't know if a lot of people realize like videography, I guess you would call it. It goes in so many different directions and there's so many different things you can do in it. There's like I'm a big fan. Like if I worked in film, I would be a cinematographer is what you would call it.
I think that's why I've been trying to introduce him as this weekend, by the way. We're like, this is my cinematographer.
Yeah.
Like, who's this new guy that's out on the track when he wasn't supposed to be? No, that was my bad.
Yeah. There's that's like that. Like I've done that where you're like short films and you're like, everything's locked down and you're intentional about how everything looks. And then you have like the more videography, like doing weddings or event coverage. And then you have like what you do, like show production, which is a completely different animal, usually done on, I don't even know. We talked about like what are the cameras like they use at ringside at WWE. I know a lot about cameras and I know like I want to, Alexa 35. I love the Mini. Like that stuff's all great. I have no fucking clue what like they're using for all that stuff, like PGA or whatever. Like that's a whole different world.
Yes. Anyways, no. So we're having a lot of fun here. Really, we're looking forward to see how this turns out, and good to be back on here and see the very cool, interesting stuff they're doing. Got to hang with our friend Mike Zeman, who's been part of the show before, and seeing. I got to see the update, Katie. They updated the sleds. Like that the people are on, and the deer, and there's a sled with, you remember the blow up cars, the safety cars for the parking area.
Yeah.
It moves now.
Ooh.
They were testing it, and it's I got a video somewhere. I can't remember if it's on the big I think it's on the Sony. So I can't bring it up, but it kind of came over to me, and it just like started going in circles as they were getting things sorted with it, and then back out. And I'm just like, are they messing? Are they taunting me with this thing right now? Kind of thing, because it just like kind of felt with it at the moment. I know you were over in the tent when that was going down.
No, I didn't know they had new sled. Like that's a new story. I didn't know the new sleds were new.
Yeah, well, they've been kind of evolving over the course of this competition, and we're on year 4 of the second section of this. So by this year, they should be getting to about a level 4 autonomy for these cars. But it's interesting to see the changes and the kind of things they're doing. I don't want to get into it because I don't know how much is a spoiler or anything for what's happening.
They are progressed. So they are progressed from the years prior.
Oh yeah, because remember I showed you the video and Katie was on this one, where they started with like just that cart with the technology to like view things, and then that where they're at now started with equipment on a cart. All that stuff that's on top of the car was on a cart that they wheeled out.
That's what they started.
Pointed
That's
at, and it's multiple years and turnover and stuff. And also like this is like, and I think this is a really cool thing because I don't know, maybe Katie, you notice more about like people that like are at competitions and then come back as judges and things and volunteers. Like it's very like, I'm watching people like, oh, I know this person, but I'm realizing like, oh no, you were a student when I talked to you before, right? Like, Frank is one that was really good of that year with the carts, right? Things like that. So, like, I think that's a really cool thing because you do see that one-to-one kind of situation here with this competition. So, but anyways, so a lot of fun with that stuff. So, cameras and cars. It's all about the cameras and cars out here.
I mean, yeah, we got 5 days of this. It's like hard to, except for the Muppets.
Okay. Yeah, I've been
That's
making
my other favorite thing I pulled from this trip is like I forgot about the Muppets.
I've been like, I was dozing off yesterday. And I was like, I'm gonna put on the Muppet Show for a while. It was just like marathon for a while, and you just like
I watched it for 4 hours.
Well, I passed out.
I like laid there and I watched the Muppets. Like I was like, this show rules.
And a lot of it's still
I forgot how awesome this show was.
Mm-hmm.
Like
we had the Muppet movie on for a little bit before this. I'm just on a Muppet kick. Hey, Anyways, let's get.
When you guys said Muppets, I wasn't sure we were talking about the AI Muppets.
No, this is puppets.
No, the actual ones. No, like the ones where we're turning everybody into Muppets the last few weeks.
Yeah,
we didn't do that.
And I saw Muppets and
I didn't know about that.
Putting famous people in these speeches into Muppets doing it.
Yes. Also very fun. So awesome. Well, we do have some stories that are not about auto drive and everything, so let's get a touch on that for you guys out there. First of all, Dave, tell me about something that I think Katie's going to be very interested in.
Okay, is this the Star Wars thing?
Yes.
Okay, so I happened to see this on TikTok. Just it was scrolling along, and someone said, "Oh, look at this," and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" So it's a little robot that has a storage container with wheels, and it'll follow you around.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put your little, you just want to carry something along, you put it in there, you hit the button, and it just sees you, and it just walks around with you. And it's official. That's one of the reasons I think it's almost $3,000. But yeah, it will follow the leader. So, and it says that it holds up to 20 pounds of gear.
We need this for our shoots.
No, I'm thinking completely
Something
different.
like that would be perfect for you
Dude,
guys.
if I just showed up like Steelers tailgating with this, with like Bud Light in it and ice,
Exactly.
oh man, I'd be like the coolest person there.
Like I said, it does have cameras and sensors, so it'll just follow you around.
Huh.
So there's no like remote control you have to do. The minute it picks you up, you just walk around. It'll just follow you around, and you can stop and do everything else.
Wow.
It literally looks like it could be not exactly out of the movie, but getting closer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a little more like kind of cartoony as far as how this thing goes.
I'm actually wondering why they licensed this.
It's a very droidy kind of thing. I know
It's like Droid the phone. Like, why'd
Yeah,
they do
yeah.
that?
Well, that was.
Oh wait, doesn't Star Wars like have like well Disney I guess wasn't the thing with the Android phone like that you couldn't use the word droid?
No, Droid I think became a problem, but Android was okay.
Okay, well the
Yeah,
first Android phone was the
Was Droid,
Droid,
yeah,
and I remember they had
Verizon.
like Star Wars gimmicks involved in the marketing,
Mm-hmm.
and I was always like, why'd they do that? And I heard I don't know if it's true or not, but it was like something about like Droid is actually rights managed, like.
No, that makes sense.
Because that entire concept of a container that follows you around with cameras and lidar and stuff, like why does that have to be Star Wars like license?
Well, we know why it can be why it has to be Star Wars.
Oh, because it's
So
droid.
they can
but-
charge over $2,000 for this damn thing.
Exactly.
But it
Because
would
if
probably
they
be
just
that
had
much.
this- but the thing is, if they just had this plane and it didn't have Star Wars on it,
You wouldn't be
they
as
couldn't
excited.
charge as much.
Yeah, you wouldn't be excited about it.
That's the thing.
And you wouldn't be seeing it on TikTok.
Exactly.
So, Katie, are you going to get a droid? Oh, did we lose her?
I'm reading some of the blog posts about it, and folks had like the names of it, and I was surprised to see how many groceries I could fit in. And Whole Foods is an hour walk for me, so I strapped Smalls, which is the name of their droid.
What was it called?
Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls, is what I'm
killing me.
assuming, but you're Smalls.
Perfect.
They drive to the market, unpack Smalls. It was so seamless. Walk through the grocery store, just toss it in, little buddy,
Why
and
not?
take it home.
Awesome. What would you? So, Katie, what would you name your one? What would you name your follow droid? And then two, what would you pack into your follow droid?
Well, obviously snacks and Capri Suns.
Okay.
So like cookies
Yeah,
and
obviously.
Capri Suns.
And it'll follow you
And-
across the Baja track when you're out doing photography. Okay.
And its name would be
pretty
Snacky.
off-road. It'll be called Snacky.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Scotty, what'd you call your droid, and what would you pack in it?
I'd call him like Viper. It'd just be like he'd just carry Bud Light.
But only to the Steelers games, right?
What's up?
Only to the Steelers games.
No, I mean there's no rules. I can walk. I'll walk the neighborhood. Like you know what? It would be actually dope for. Like I wouldn't pay $2,000, but whatever the company is, if you're watching this, I'll influencer it or something. I don't know. I would trick or treating would be sick. Like because I always have to carry all the kids' candy after a while. Because like my bag's too heavy. So you just
You
And you can put a
20 pounds of
costume on
candy.
it.
Yeah, you can dress it up. I mean, you kind of don't have to because it's already like a Star Wars robot. But no,
But
fight.
man,
Yeah,
You could turn into something else. I mean, you could just put a facade over it. or
dude,
something, right?
customizing him though. Like if I could, if his name was like Viper, he carried beer and he kind of looked like Macho Man Randy Savage, like just real colorful and cool.
Yeah, that's true. Dave, what would you call it and use for?
I call it Marvin.
Marvin. Okay.
Marvin. And honestly, I kind of like the idea of, just around the house. Now, the only problem is it doesn't go up and down stairs.
No.
Yeah,
It'd be great if it could.
Yeah.
But it's true because, you remember, what was it, 15 years ago when the first Segway was about to come out?
Yes.
The same guy designed a wheelchair that can go up and down stairs.
Right.
So, matter of time. But yeah, to me, this would be so nice to, like, if you're doing like home improvement, and you're like, oh, I need a place to put my tools or put the hammer and the nails and the drill, and I can just put it in the droid. It'll follow me around to the next thing I'm going to work on. That way I don't have to carry it around. And it's like, oh, I left the screwdriver over there. Get up, walk over. It would just be right there, right next to you.
Maybe this is the PA we've been talking about. We need
just a production assistant.
Yeah, he's our production assistant. He just like has everything that we need.
I can see I can see my one cat trying to ride it.
Oh, the cat's definitely going to ride it. Maybe get into it. That kind of thing. I put my dog into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my little Chihuahua.
I kept trying to put my cat on our robot vacuum, and she didn't.
Some do. Nope. I mean, you see the videos of the cats just jumping on.
Yeah, well, that's what I saw.
Going around and lapping the dog and then getting driven away.
You can't. Yeah, they either have the personality or not. It's like trying to get a bulldog to skateboard.
Have you tried that?
Yeah.
Of course you have. You're a skater kid.
He didn't like it. It wasn't his thing.
We see your music video. Is that what you cropped out for the Go Skateboard thing on that music video? Was that what you cropped out? Was it a bulldog on a skateboard?
If I had a skateboarding dog in a music video, I would not rotoscope him out.
You dressed him in green so you could
you would keep that in.
No, but that's the AB on it. Then you got both, right?
No, if I had if I had a dog that actually skateboarded that I got to shoot a music video, like that's
the video. Yeah.
That's the video.
Absolutely.
Like you could pitch me anything else like that you want to do, and I'm like, no, dude, this skateboarding dog, he just lands tricks to the beat.
Well, Scotty, since we have you here, we need to talk about this story about production, video production related. Of course, 28 years later, the 28 Days Later third sequel, I guess, third movie in the series is coming out. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize that 28 Days Later, maybe I heard it at the time, was like one of the first digital camera productions, right?
Yeah, those movies there's like I have to look it up again, but I remember there's a couple things going on with the photography of those movies, unique that they've done.
So they there was rumors about it being like the whole thing was shot on iPhone 15 Pro Maxes or something like that. Not entirely, but some scenes have been. If you're with us on this picture, that looks pretty wild. That is like an array of iPhone 15 Pro Maxes. As they call it, basically a poor man's bullet time, according to director Daniel Boyle on the Verge article that we have here. This is so they did use a portion of that. They used drones. They used some rigs, that were very interesting. As you can see in some of these images here.
Was like you've read the article, I'm assuming, was like the iPhones used? Were they used for like an intentionality reason, or were they used because Apple gave them money?
In this, I think they were using some of it before in some of the other movies. In this case, the 20 phones, like they have the let me see the rigs here, 8, 10, and 20 phones, and they said like what this did was give them choice of the shot to use, right? From what I was reading in the article. So think like you ever shoot with a Insta360?
No.
So the idea is you shoot that 360 thing like all the time when with one lens, and then you don't like kind of put a 360 video out anymore. You pick the scene, the angle that you want from that video. So if I could think about this, I could put an Insta360 in the middle of like the paddocks or something, right? And then as things happen, I go back in the footage later and say, I can pick a portion of that 360 camera that I want to be my shot later.
Right. So it's kind of like a 360 version, like the Pixel phones I know do it. I'm assuming Apple does it, where you take a picture, but then you can go in and it actually took like 2 seconds of video, and you could pick which frame you wanted.
But imagine.
But this is from like 27.
It's around,
cameras.
so now you have 20 options of what angle you want to use. They're like, well, we can shoot it. Think about this. You have something that you only have one shot to shoot.
Yeah.
Right. Like, think about like an explosion. You have how many cameras on an explosion on a film set, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like, this is a smaller scale thing that you only want to do once for whatever reason. And now you like, well, now you have 20 options of what that looks like there, you know. And I think it's really interesting when you look at the picture there. Like,
yeah, I'm wondering
they're
what like
holding this giant-
what the scene was that
Yeah.
they wanted all these selections from, like
Yeah.
what they were trying to do.
It'd be really, it's you know, obviously an intentional, you know, artistic choice that they're trying to do here.
I didn't know it was like that time they shot House on an iPhone.
Yeah, so
You know, like
you know, but you can't put 20 red cameras on a rig like that because that even for them that's probably going to become
what are you
too
talking? You ever
expensive.
see The Matrix?
That was, but what do you think cameras they were in 1998?
They were pro line
probably pro.
cinema
Yeah, that's
cameras.
true.
They didn't have reds yet, but they
No.
built like that movie had some shit. Like,
Yeah. So, but I think it's really interesting to see that. You know, hopefully get a chance to watch it. I think I've seen 28. Was it 28 months later? Was the second one something like
yeah,
that?
it's gonna be really interesting what the usage was. To be
Weeks,
like,
yeah.
oh, that's what
Weeks,
they did.
Yeah,
Was it
there's
weeks
days
or
later,
months?
weeks later, and now we're years.
Now
The
Okay.
rig I'm seeing, I'm gonna take a giant guess, and I think it has something to do with the movement of the zombies.
Yeah, I think so,
Kind of
too.
like how they're kind of like hyper real.
Mhm.
Like I'm gonna guess that there's something going on there. They
I
did
remember
with
they're doing like a
those.
pop, like
Yeah,
popping back and forth.
is the
kinda
reason
thing.
they did
Yeah.
it. If they did, like, plus nowadays, I guess like the iPhone Pros, like you can shoot log raw on them, and then
Max
you know,
is- yeah, the 15
and, like-
Pro Max was the first one you could do that with.
and I'm sure that movie's got like some stupid budget that like the post production pipelines, like they have like
Yeah.
a real freaking CGI company like doing all the visual effects and color correction and grading and everything. So it's like at that point, it doesn't matter what you shoot on, it's gonna look sick.
So, Katie, I think you have a special feature. It is time. It is time for your time. I'm going to say your time of the month, but that's not what I meant.
Jesus Christ.
But well,
PG-13.
Katie, what you got there?
It is
Bail
the
me
Cat
out.
Wars.
Cat
I cannot
Wars.
bail you out.
This is-
I cannot
this
bail
is
you
sick.
out. You are in
No,
your-
no.
I'm a big fan of
It's
that.
the cat time of the month, okay?
Yes. So
That
this is our
awesome.
yeah. This is Cat Wars calendar. Cat. So as a reminder, where we Scotty, you're gonna be real excited until you realize most of these are just like AI and then cat pictures. So as a reminder,
Previously on Cat Wars.
I don't think
Yes.
that's AI. I think that's like someone like kind of
Oh.
stoned.
seek high ground for a path to the light. I like how these are reversed, so it's
Yeah,
even
I
harder
think-
for you guys
I
now
think
with the
all
cat.
these things can be true.
February was these two cats, and it says, trained for this I have Fuzzball.
It's just pictures of cats being adorable in Star Wars context.
This was March. My powers of persuasion are catastrophic.
Catastrophic.
April was a let go of the dark and hold on to hope. And now we were in May. That was this dog. We got a dog in this here now. Difficult to see the dark side can be. And then June, big drum roll for fear not as you look within with the kitten.
What is he like? Is the cat like electrifying from its nose to the floor? And oh, it's seeing itself in the reflection in the floor, and it's like sort of
Yeah, it's a mirror.
Millennium Falcon.
This one's
looking-
actually really deep. Like this is
This is, yeah.
like that one. Like that one, I could get an existential crisis from.
Yeah, this is your introspection month.
Yeah.
The cat's eyes are two different colors. It's yellow here and blue down here. So I don't know what that means.
That's
if
like
that was
that's
hard.
like.
does it mean?
Oh my god, this is like Catception.
I like to see because it comes from like Getty Images and Shutterstock. Like, so it'll credit where they're from.
Mhm.
Yeah, someone
photos.
someone just had some Photoshop fun.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay,
And
that's
that's Cat Wars.
perfect.
I believe didn't you
Isn't
receive
it?
didn't you receive
Perfect.
2 of those?
I did, and
Yes.
so one of our clients, which is I don't want to be. They're a place that does art and they're fancy, and they're out in Sewickley, and today they got to see the Cat Wars calendar, and they were very obviously impressed. It was
Yep.
pretty funny because I was like, "Let me pull out my calendar. Let me show you."
Yes.
Did they keep it all like safely away from rights managed Star Wars content. Like there wasn't a
Oh,
Millennium
right.
Falcon in there.
I think they're on the edge of intentionality
Yeah,
there. I mean,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
parody. It's parody.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Sure,
There's not like
right?
a TIE fighter, you know.
No,
Like,
no,
you
not-
know,
not a
the lightsabers
distinctive-
are colors you don't normally see.
Not a distinctive TIE fighter.
Yeah.
Not like that's a TIE fighter, but like that's
Well,
a
not only that, there's nothing
perfect-
that's too negative going on either.
No.
You know, but we all know Disney loves to sue people.
Yeah, Disney's litigious.
Yeah.
They're like
And-
Nintendo.
Oh, yeah, but I think the money's small enough, probably, and they're like,
Oh no.
Now,
okay,
for
we're
now.
not going
This
after
seems
them
like
right
a
now.
hit
Yeah.
at the Cracker Barrel. I'm just saying. So, anyways, well, Scotty, thank you for joining us. You do things. Where do people find things that you're doing?
I don't know.
This is where you pitch yourself.
Oh, I have a portfolio like Swemba.com.
There you go. Start
I'm
there.
on Instagram as @Swemba.
There you go.
That's about it. I don't have like. Oh, I mean, I have a wrestling show with some friends called Enjoy Wrestling. Check
That's
that
true
out in
too. That's
Pittsburgh.
true too. Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah, so yeah, do the Enjoy Wrestling thing because that's like the cool project I have. Everything else is just like, you know, it's like, I mean, I do a lot of little things with my friends, like short films and stuff like that, and music videos for my friends, and you'll see all that on @Swemba.
There you go.
Just going, you know, new thing every month.
I've been trying to get him to come on and talk about himself forever, and here we are. So
I need to start a podcast. Is
there
what I
you
need to
go.
do.
You can
Yes.
start one with Reese. So Reese Hayes, or shout out.
Oh yeah,
Yes, yeah, we're all.
he's about to start a vlog.
Ooh.
He bought a camera for it, like an older camera. He's
Ooh.
gonna start. He used to vlog. He actually has some dope ass
He's
vlogs.
got some good stuff. What's
Dude,
his?
Reese on TikTok. That's the good stuff.
What's his YouTube page?
Dashing Agent?
Dashing Agent. Go check it out. Some short film action over there. Very, very cool. Dave Ponders, the iPhoneography podcast.
Yep. And this past, actually yesterday, we talked about how to get out of a rut, photography rut. So you're like, oh, I've been taking photos, but do I want how to get out of that? And next week is WWDC. We may be having not a live reaction shot, but a episode next week where we discuss if anything big camera-wise was discussed. We're hoping there's going to be a new, looks like a look to the camera in the new operating system, and what we're also, which they're going to change to make it a year instead of just sequentially numbered. So this will be iOS 26.
Okay.
Kind of like
That
cars.
makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because it's getting
And-
confusing.
And the group, no rumors about this. We're just hoping behind hope that there will be either a mode or a separate advanced camera app. Kind of like how they have the advanced video camera.
Kind of like the
use
Black
with
Magic
Final
camera that you can download and get all the features
Exactly.
unlocked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have
Something
you seen
like
that?
that for
Have you
photography.
downloaded
That would be
the Black Magic
wonderful.
camera?
The what?
You can download a Black Magic camera app on your Android or iPhone that kind of unlocks all your features.
Oh,
Like
there's
you-
a few apps I think like that.
Yeah, there's a
like
few,
to
but-
kind of do like Sony actually has a sick phone that no one bought that's like $700 and it's a cell phone that has like full RAW and full video control. Xperia, Sony Xperia.
Mm-hmm. I had a lot of phones that.
By the way,
nobody bought.
since we're on it and I'm all sidetracking, OS X and the iOS numbers, do they still make? I build computers now.
And you're an Android guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a Pixel guy, not an Android guy. I'm
Yeah.
a Pixel guy. But does OS X still have cool names like Ice Cream Cone and like?
No, that was
they're
you
naming
guys.
it after, yeah, they're naming it after California places now.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
those could be
so-
cool
Oh yeah.
depending on what they are.
Sedona,
Uh,
stuff like that. I can't remember anything else.
oh.
Honestly,
They did-
I don't even know what I'm on.
I mean, it's
right
better
now.
than Windows. There's
Yeah, that's just numbers right now, right?
sometimes they skip them.
Yeah. Well, no, it's even like, yeah, the release.
Microsoft
numbers
can't
are
name
bad.
things.
No,
They're
they
just
cannot.
bad at naming. Like the
Yep.
Xbox One Series X. I don't know.
Case in point. Katie Dudas is at katiedudas.com, where you can see Katie
Stuff.
Dudas things.
Stuff, things.
You-
I don't know.
You we're all over the Pittsburgh Penguins social media this week.
Oh,
We should
was I?
mention. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw you in the group picture.
Oh yeah, I was. We were at the Pride Parade.
Yeah, you were at
Yeah.
the Pride Parade.
Katie's like, you had I remember you sent me pictures where you were at the PNC Park. You had the Enjoy Fanny stuff like on the field. That was dope.
Yeah, that was for the was that for Thrive or just
Pitch for Hope. It was
Yeah.
another organization. We did
Yeah.
that for that. Yeah.
So-
I'm everywhere.
Yeah, Katie gets around Pittsburgh. Damn it, I'm sorry.
Glad you used up all your
Around
swears. You can't
to-
swear anymore.
Gets around to great events in Pittsburgh that
Who's
are very
worried about
supportive
me
and
being on
awesome.
this thing?
I don't know. Apparently, yeah, I get around. I do things, and yeah, I'm hang out with a lot of people.
KatieDudas.com. KatieDudas.com. That's where you go.
Yep.
Oh, I did the thumbs up. That's the first time I accidentally did the thumbs up on iOS. There we go.
Oh, did
I
it do
don't
the
think
thing? Oh, did it?
Yeah, I don't know. Popped up in the middle of my screen. I don't know if you guys saw it. So that was a first for me.
Yep.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited about that part. Anyways. Jeez. Guys, thank you so much. This has been your awesome cast. Again, we'll be back into the regular studio. Then we'll be doing something like this up here in the Michigan area. I presume we'll have something with a decent internet connection. We don't know. Actually, this is pretty rocking here at this Hilton. So it's one of the best internets that I think I've seen in a while. So, but thank you, everybody. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.